Hey YouTube, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a first impressions video on this beast of a knife. This is the Cold Steel SR1, new for this year, and this is actually a bit of a departure for Cold Steel. Yes, a lot of their knives are big and heavy duty, but this one is, above and beyond, and we'll talk about some of the things that are different about that, and even give you some measurements. But I've got to say, overall, I'm pretty impressed with the design here. I'm pretty impressed with the comfort in hand and even the utility of this knife. So let's do a quick rundown of what we got here. S35 VN on the blade, a fairly low flat grind, making it a pretty thick grind and a very, very tough blade. This is certainly a blade that is, angled toward being really, really hard use and overbuilt, rather than being a great slicer. And if you look at that blade stock, it's nearly 1/4 of an inch thick. Like, that is just ridiculous. And of course, being a fairly short size, this is going to make this knife, probably not the best choice for cutting tomatoes or something. G10 handles. Now, we do have some steel liners in here to add strength to the triad lock. And of course, we have the triad lock. Now, this one is not bad to actuate, but just so you can see this again, look how far that lock bar has to travel in order to disengage the lock. So very, very positive, very, very heavy duty lockup on this guy. And again, look at the thickness of that lock bar. There's the G10, and this is back to the very heavily textured G10 that we're used to seeing from Cold Steel for a number of years now. And if you think about the Recon 1 or the AK-47 or Talwar, any of those standard models that we're used to having that very textured G10, this is like that. The pocket clip here is reversible, tip up right or left side. And it's actually really well done. I put this in and out of my pocket a few times, and I've got to say, when I looked at the knife, my expectation was, this is going to be like the worst of the worst Cold Steels for going in and out of pocket, but actually the clip has worked pretty well. I think that covers most of the features. Aluminum backspacer here. So that covers sort of the features and the construction. Let's go ahead and give you some specs here, and I'll have to do that as we go because I really don't know what they are. So let's go ahead and grab a length measurement. Now, I know this is mostly for my benefit, doing it, at this angle. And it looks like we're getting about 9 3/8 for overall length. On the blade length, a little bit more than 3 7/8. So, it's like not even a 32nd over 3 7/8. So we're really, really close there to 4 inches. And let me close the knife and get you a length measurement. And I'll also give you width as well, because this is a big, bulky knife. And so for length, make sure I'm getting this exactly right here, we've got just under 5.5 inches. So again, all of those are pretty big numbers. So we've got 5.5 inches on the handle, 3 and a little more than 7/8 on the blade, 9 3/8 overall. So this is a very big knife, and it's a very bulky blade. So it's actually, the balance is a little toward the blade because of that just massive hunk of S35 VN steel. Thinking of massive pieces of steel, let's grab a weight here so we know what we're dealing with. And I think I've got this already set to ounces. Yeah, okay, so what do we got for weight there? 7.2 ounces. So yeah, this is a big knife. That's the same weight as, say, the Curtis F3 or the Zero Tolerance 0200. I'm sure there are other big knives, and probably similar in weight to the 0300 as well. So very big, very heavy, overbuilt type of knife. The one thing I do want to grab a measurement on is, hold on, I'm going to do it this way. There we go. So if I get the blade sort of halfway closed, you can see I can get a measurement on this lock bar. And that is 204 thousandths of an inch. So very, very thick stock. How much difference is there between that and the blade? So the blade is 193 thousandths, and this is just over 200 thousandths. So everything is super big, super heavy duty. I will say I actually like this little touch here. So you've got some stainless steel liners here and the stop pin into those liners. So you're going to be adding, again, even more strength to the construction there. Let me grab one more number. Since we've got the calipers out, I'll give you or try to give you, this is a pretty hard thing to do on camera, but I'm going to do my best. Oh. So we've got about 50 thousandths there behind the edge. So that is a really, really high number behind the edge. Now I should point out that that would be a little bit lower, maybe 45 or something like that. If this edge were factory. This has been modified by the initial owner. I got this knife off the secondary market. So this knife has been modified just slightly by the original owner, and he's laid this edge back 3 to 5 degrees, he figures. Now that does mean you're going to move where this lands. Okay, so this is going to be moved up a little bit, and it's going to change that behind the edge dimension just a bit. Now I will say this knife is going to be really thick behind the edge. That 0.5 or 0.05 is going to be a pretty thick. Often knives are, in the 20 thousandths, 30 thousandths range. So that's a pretty thick number. Although I will say I've done a little bit of cutting and it seems to be okay. But again, this knife is definitely leaning toward hard use, being really heavy duty, being indestructible, rather than being, an amazing slicer. I will obviously have a lot more to say about this. When I do the full review, I'll get the Formax out, I'll get the Recon 1 out, maybe get a couple of other Cold Steels and a couple other blades to compare so we can have a full discussion of what that edge geometry means and give you sort of a better understanding about all that. For now though, this is definitely designed to be just crazy overbuilt, to be super beefy, super hard use, and from that design philosophy, this absolutely does what it's meant to do. Now, if that's not something you need, and I would say for most people that's not what you need in an EDC, but maybe you're thinking of using this in the bush, maybe you're a first responder, maybe you're someone who does pry with your knife blade and you want something that can take that kind of abuse, I think that's where this knife is going to really shine. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will talk to you soon.